In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the #1 way to tap into your past life. By the end of this video, you'll understand more about who you are than ever before. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. And in this video, I'm going to share with you that #1 way to tap into your past life that will change your life, because you will begin to see yourself in a completely new way. And let me first off just say that this concept is so often misunderstood that when people even talk about past lives, it's under the assumption that the past life that they are living was actually in the past, as if the past actually exists. In actuality, when we look at metaphysics, when we look at how this actually works, the only moment that does exist is this moment right now. So when we look at that, we can see that the past is not something that happens at a different time. It is just a different point of view. And the same thing with the future. By the time the future comes, it is still this moment right now. It's just from a different point of view. And this sounds like a small little difference, but it makes all the difference in the world, because then when you look at what you understand as a past life, what it actually is it's a parallel incarnation of the same energy. But most people say, well, it's a parallel incarnation of you. Well, what it is it's a connection that you have, but the you that you are living in this life is where the most attention must be. And let me show you why. This is going to completely shift the way that you forever look at the idea of past lives if you resonate with it. So right now, in this moment, in this life that I am living, there are certain patterns that I live within. There are certain habits that I have. And have you heard the saying before, as above, so below? Well, our current life right now is an accumulation of all the quote-unquote past experiences and future experiences all existing right now, because it is all a reflection. So as I change my life right now, I then change the probable pasts and the probable futures that I connect to. Because the truth is, you are an immortal spiritual being living a temporary human experience, and what you think of as your physical life is such a small part of you. It's like the fingernail on your body. It's like thinking that this fingernail right here is all of who you are, because that's all that we identify with, when in actuality there is so much more going on, and there is so much more to who we are. So the thing to understand is that there are probable past versions of us, which are also probable parallel versions of us, and there are also probable future versions of us, or parallel future versions of us. And because we're so infinitely vast as spiritual beings, we get caught up in thinking that we're just this couple past and this couple future. Even if it was 1,000 past lives or 1,000 future lives, it is still so limited to who we actually are. Now let me share with you a little bit of a story about this, just to show you kind of how this may work. My mom, for example, she was at one point, she went to somebody that was more clairvoyant, talking to them. At the time, she was in a relationship with someone who wasn't necessarily the best fit for her, and it was somebody that was kind of neglecting her and leaving her, kind of just would get up, he'd get in a little temper tantrum, and he would like leave the house or whatever and kind of leave her behind. So they're going through this rockiness, my mom and her ex-husband, and she goes to this clairvoyant person who says that in past lives, they lived in a village together, and he left her in the village all alone, or something like that. Well, maybe that did happen, maybe it didn't happen. I'm not saying one way or the other, but what I am saying is that as she then goes through a different theme, when she left him and she was in a new relationship, there would be a new way of looking at past experiences. The way that you find which past you connect to is what patterns are you currently living in your life, and are you becoming aware of them? Because when you become aware of them, you can then also let go of the patterns of your past. So it's a similar thing for what I do in my own life. For example, I've been told that in my current life right now, I have a past life where I was in Rome or something like that, and some type of doing some type of battle or some type of fighting type thing. That's where I get my willpower in this life. Is it true or not? I don't know. And I'm not saying that I'm even discounting it, but what I am saying is that there are certain times of my life when I go through certain experiences that then connect to different parts of my past. So the idea is that based on the patterns you currently have is going to determine which probable past lives you connect to and which probable future lives you connect to. Because as you change, so does the past and the future change. See, we think that the past and the future is completely set, but it is not set. Just as you change in the present moment right now, you are changing the parts of the past you connect to and the parts of the future you connect to. You see, this is when some people they don't want to hear that because they want that linear time-space reality understanding because it's easy to understand. But this is actually even more empowering because as you change in the present moment, you then change all of these past connections. You see, when it comes to karma in general, the more aware you become of your quote-unquote karma, the more that you integrate it into who you are and you forgive and accept, the more that karma begins to dissolve. But the thing is many times we tied into a story about who we are, and not only that, but who we were in a past life and who we were in a future life. Therefore, that's why we experience what we are today. But that is nothing but a story. And I'm not saying that karma doesn't exist. I'm saying that we dissolve our karma the more that we become aware of unconscious patterns in our current life right now. So the most powerful way that you can possibly connect to your past life is by first off realizing that past life, there's an infinite number of past lives and future lives that exist. And of course, there's some that you will connect to more than others based on relevancy. But the idea is that the more you change your current and you become aware of your current life right now, the more you are here now, the more aware you can become of those past lives. Because then you see the patterns you're currently living depending on which past you were connected to. So this is about awareness. And I remember even when I was talking to that person that was telling me about my life in Rome, I was told I had a life in Egypt and all this other stuff. And I was told that in a lot of the lives I lived, I was killed for the information I was sharing. Because they weren't ready for it then. But now in this life, I don't have to get killed because we're in a new time. And I'm sharing information just like I've done in quote-unquote past lives. However, what I'm saying here is could it be that my pattern in this life is that I'm sharing this information, so I'm connecting to past lives where I quote-unquote died, and maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I'm just saying when most people look at past lives and future lives, they get so caught up in what has happened that what they end up doing is they end up not being here now. The only way you will dissolve the karma of those past lives is by becoming aware of your current life patterns, your current life karma. When you become aware of the unconsciousness that you may be living, and me too, I'm not talking on top of a mountain here. As I become aware of these patterns, as I become aware of these things that I was not aware of before, I then start to dissolve that past. I start to let it go, and then I will also connect to past in a different way. And as I change my patterns in my current life, I will then also change the future probabilities I experience in this life. And the future timelines of future versions of me that I would connect to. So you see, the key and the number one way that you tap into your past life is by being here now. It is by focusing on the current patterns you're living. The current subconscious thoughts that you may be having, the current ways of and the patterns of going about the world, your current belief systems, because you will connect to other paths that are in alignment with your current belief system, and same for your future. But you see, we like identity. We like identification. We like knowing that that's who I was in a past life. That's who I am in a future life. That's what we like to know. But what I'm saying is right now on the planet, it's about going beyond the identity. Transcending into more of a fifth dimensional state of consciousness where we understand we are unconditional love and bliss. We understand that the more we let go of these identities, the more that we embody who we really are, because even those identities aren't who we are, because remember, it's like identifying with the pinky nail finger. This is who I am. And you say, no, I'm a little bit more than that. I'm the pinky finger up to this point. And even then, that's not who you are. You could say, well, I'm the pinky finger up to this point. It's still identification with some type of pinky finger. The key is to identify with none of it, to observe it. That's what they call enlightenment, when we learn that everything is a reflection of us. And at the same time, the paradox is we are none of it. We are all of it, none of it. We are divine. We allow this energy to be who we are. When you look at other people, you realize that they are a reflection of you. Everything is a reflection of that divine energy. Then you start to go beyond the form. You start to get the ability to dissolve the karma. The only reason we have so much karma and so much of these negative patterns is because we identify with our avatar. You see, this is an avatar in this life experience. When we're born into this reality, we forget who we are. Because if we remembered who we are, it would trip us out. If we remembered who we are, also, using our limited 3D brain that we have, it would defeat the purpose of knowing that we're here to learn. Because if you knew that you're an infinite spiritual being that lives in unconditional love and bliss normally, and you have to be awake here, you may not want to be here so much. So it cuts the information of us knowing that. And the information's always there for us to tap into. But part of this game of life is us remembering this, remembering who we really are. And coming more at terms with the potential with who we are, and letting go of identity, letting go and detaching. So some powerful ways that you can use what I'm sharing with you right now when it comes to past lives, future lives, is to detach from the story you tell yourself in your current life, to become aware of the patterns you have in your current life, to become aware of the themes that you have in your current life, and by becoming aware of all these things, you will then start to heal past connections. You will start to heal the future connections. And as you change in the present moment, you will actually start to connect to different versions of you. And then you can begin to transcend the lower vibrational states that you don't prefer. As my mom has worked through the fear of someone leaving her like that, she would then connect to a new part of her past, a new part of her future, and literally create new probable experiences in her current life because she's let go of patterns. Most people are thinking the same things day in and day out, feeling the same emotions day in and day out, taking the same actions day in and day out, therefore creating the same experiences day in and day out. Then the future experiences will be in alignment with that current pattern, and the past connections the same, even past lives the same, based on that energy signature. So understand that you are so much more than you can possibly imagine. You aren't just the little pinky finger, the pinky fingernail. You're not even just that part of the pinky finger, not even that part, not even the whole pinky finger, not even the whole hand. You are so much more than you can imagine. And the more you realize that we don't need to identify with all of it, we can then start to transcend our vibration and raise our vibration to a new state. However, the key is to detach from the story, to just see it for what it is, to observe the thoughts that come up, to observe the patterns that come up, to become more aware of what you're living right now, and by doing so, you will then start to connect to new different parts of you. So I know this is a different perspective as most people talk about past lives, future lives. But if you even look at Dolores Cannon's work, who has 17 books on past lives and future lives and understand what happens life in between death and all this stuff with hypnosis, the deepest levels of hypnosis. It's called QHHT, Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique, that Dolores Cannon has made. She has 17 books out. Even then, in more recent years, before she passed away when she was doing it, she would get these people in these deep levels of brainwave activity. And by the way, most people said the reason they're here on Earth right now is to go through this transformation that's happening. So most likely, if you're watching this video, that's exactly why you're here right now. There's a transformation and awakening happening on the planet. And one thing that they said, when she was so far into it, you know, she'd been doing it for 30 years. The last couple of years, or the last maybe 5 or 10 years, they said it's not important anymore, the past lives thing. It's more about where and how are you right now, because then you change the future probabilities. We're in a time of high vibration right now. And in this high vibration state, it's about letting go of the past, letting go of the story, and being here now. So that's what I encourage you to do, is to be more here now. If you want that of a meditation that will help you to raise your vibration to a higher state, one of the most powerful meditations I have is in the top of the description box below. You can download it, listen to it whenever you want. 21 days is what I recommend you listen to it to, and if you do, you'll start to raise your vibration to a new state of consciousness. Other than that, I do more live Q&As on Instagram. Every day almost I do a live Q&A, so if you want to follow me there, I also post twice daily there as well. You'll see it right here. Follow me on Instagram. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it. Let me know what you think of today's video. I know it's a little bit different. Do you want more esoteric concepts like this? Let me know what kind of esoteric concepts you want me to make videos on. And other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.